Hello everybody, I am Salty and welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we are going to be doing an episode 1 set ideas video, meaning that I'm going to be sharing some ideas for LEGO sets from episode 1 of Star Wars. The first set that we have up here is going to be Watto's Junkyard. But before we get into that, I would like to say a huge thank you to BrickWizard59 on Instagram, as he is the creator of some of these images. I will tell you which ones are made by BrickWizard59, but not the first one. So Watto's Junkyard, a set that was previously made in early days of LEGO Star Wars, as you can see by this set image that I have up. It had the set number of 7186 and included a Watto, this weird guy, and his pod racer, and some things that Watto was selling at his junkyard. Now, I do think that at the time this would have been a lovely set, however today I don't think it really does stand up to the quality and the design features that we want out of a set today. So I think the actual junkyard that you see Qui-Gon Jinn and Watto dealing in episode 1, where you find out that Toydarians, mind tricks don't work on Toydarians, then it would be a pretty good set. I think it could include a Qui-Gon Jinn, a Watto, it could include this speeder that you see here, however it might also want to come up late in another set later on. Now, it could retail, if it was just a small building like Obi-Wan's hut, for probably £30 or £40, or $30 or $40, really depends, but I think that it could look something like that. Next up, in a similar vein to Watto's Junkyard, it would be Anakin's house, which would include a Shmi Skywalker, which would probably be the only time that we're actually ever going to get a Shmi Skywalker, since the only other time she's seen is in episode 2, and in that episode she dies, and is a main point for Anakin committing genocide, so I don't think that, but get an episode 2 Shmi Skywalker anytime from LEGO, due to the fact that they really don't seem to like genocide like most normal people. So they could include Anakin's house, much like Obi-Wan's hut, as it would only really need the dining room and like a kitchen on the side, as well as Anakin's bedroom where C-3PO is being built. This could include a new C-3PO, which would be quite good, because I don't think we have a silver C-3PO in LEGO, which would be a new thing. I mean, we don't have an episode 2 one, really, so I think it would be a pretty good addition to the C-3PO collection. Now, it would include Shmi, a young Anakin, Padme, Jar Jar, Qui-Gon, C-3PO and R2-D2 maybe, or if that's too many figures, since Qui-Gon and maybe Jar Jar are going to be in this Watto's Junkyard set, you could just include Shmi, Anakin, and Padme and C-3PO. That would probably work quite well. And then you'd probably have the same amount of actual figures as the Obi-Wan's hut, which would work. Now the next set up on the list is the CIS command ship, which is this like ball with like a moon kind of shape around it. It's almost like a dish around it, but it has an entrance at the front for the ships to enter the actual command ship. Now you do see this blocking Naboo for the blockade, and it is the thing that Anakin blows up at the end of the film. And there are obviously ones which are made for the CIS, or not CIS, the Trade Federation. The CIS, the one that in his episode 1 is a Trade Federation one, not a CIS one. These are getting really confusing, considering episode 1 is the only one where the Trade Federation are the bad guys, because really they're just good guys. Well, they're bad guys in every film, but they are separatists. It's weird. But yeah, this is the CIS command ship, the big ball with a little dome thing around it. You could get that in LEGO, maybe include some micro Vulture droids and Naboo starfighters. Speaking of Naboo starfighters, they could be a Naboo starfighter set. We've not received one in a few years, and the previous one was absolutely amazing. They could re-release that set and I would buy it because it is such a nice set. I really like the droidicas that they included in it. I'm pretty sure it included a Battle Droid Commander, which is nice because you don't get to see those every day, especially not the Commander variant. It also included a Naboo pilot, an Anakin with a helmet, and an Obi-Wan, and R2-D2. Now, I think this is a great set. You could probably buy multiple of them and they'd all look good. I think maybe a different astromech droid to R2-D2 though might have been a good call, because having a load of R2-D2s really isn't what anyone wants, and this R2-D2 is in almost every single wave of LEGO Star Wars, I'm sure he could fit into a different set. But I do really like the droid minifigures. Well, the fact that you get a Commander regular battle droid, and the fact that you get 2 droidekas, I really like that in this set. Now the next set up would be a new MTT. We have not received one since 2014 or 2016, but the one that we did receive was a lot smaller than the previous rendition, so they could either build this in the UCS style and include like the first one that was released in 2007, where it's huge and it has loads of droids on that carrier in the middle, or alternatively they can include it more of a playstyle version like they did in the most recent one. However, I think they should probably make it slightly bigger to allow more battle droids to fit into the front, because only having 4 or 6 battle droids in the front is quite disappointing for most people. I think they should include a staff as well, because they included that in the previous one, and I think that's a really good idea. Next up, we have a Republic Cruiser that you see at the beginning of episode 1. Now, this one here includes TC-46 or something, the silver protocol droid that you see at the beginning that shows Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan to their lovely meeting room where they get gassed. So it is quite a nice set. I think, unlike this mock, they could include a pilot, because you do see the pilots, especially in the LEGO game. I think it's the Complete Saga. You get to see this thing blow up and then they just fall and die, which is pretty good. I mean, it's pretty comical, but it's this kind of stuff I like out of the LEGO Star Wars games, which is good. Now this mock here includes Nute Gunray, which I think would be a good way to get an episode 1 version of Nute Gunray, or alternatively just a new mold, or not new mold, new figure for Nute Gunray, which is good because we don't really get Nute Gunray figures that often. I think there's been 2 in existence so far as I'm recording this video, but of course if I'm wrong then correct me in the comments below if you really care that much about Nute Gunray. Next up, we are going to be seeing Padme's ship from episode 1. Now this is the ship that they land on Tatooine in and needs the replacement parts in order to be able to travel to Coruscant. Now, this set here includes a very nice array of minifigures. I think maybe one of Padme's handmaidens instead of the 2 battle droids might be a better addition to the set, purely because I don't think the droids in this set are really needed, and I think the handmaidens would be good, especially if one of the handmaidens is Padme in disguise. Well, Queen Amidala in disguise as Padme, if that makes sense. That's kind of what happens in the film, and I think it would be a pretty cool set to have. And finally, this final set I have here is a remake, or not re-release, a remake and maybe a better version, like a UCS version, or maybe not even that big Master Builder series, but a Mos Espa pod race set. Now this in my eyes, it would include the starting line where you see all the pod races start, and include 3 or 4 pod racers. Now this would include Sebulba's pod racer, Anakin's pod racer, and 2 more. I think the one in this set is Gasgano's pod racer. Not too sure on that one, but you can include that, or you can include the pod racer that we saw in the Watto Junkyard set that I showed earlier on. Now, I think a remake of this set would be good. It could include Shmi Skywalker, like Anakin's house could. It could include Padme, Jar Jar, Qui-Gon, some pit droids, because we've not seen pit droids in quite a while, except maybe in an advent calendar at some point. I'm not entirely sure, but since we did have the 2019 20th anniversary Anakin's pod racer, if this was released, say last year, alongside the 20th anniversary sets of LEGO Star Wars, which would coincide with the 20th anniversary of episode 1, however, since we passed that, I don't think we're getting any episode 1 sets like this anytime soon, but they could have not included the Anakin's pod racer in this set and included it in the other set, and had this marked at about £50 or $50 or $60, and then included the 2 pod races and the little starting line, which I think would be pretty good. Now, you could obviously do whatever you wanted with this, especially if they've got the little clear parts to show that you can hold them and race them around yourself, or they can make this more expensive, say £120 or like $150, and include some of the train tracks where you can clip the pod races onto the train tracks and make them race around, which is something that I've seen on some mocks, and they could include in a LEGO Star Wars set. However, because of the train tracks and the motors and the Disney tax and the Star Wars tax, it would probably cost way too much to be feasible. However, it's just an idea. That's it for this video, everybody. I'd like to thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, and if you want to see more of my content, subscribe down below. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll hopefully see you in my next one. Goodbye.